I finish a conversation with my mother in Spanish. Sí, mamá, ya terminé toda mi tarea de francés. Before shouting out to my dad in Hindi to come downstairs. Papa, niche aa jao, khana tayar hai. Being half Nicaraguan and half Indian definitely has its perks. Well, first of all, it's a rare mix, so I automatically become 10 times cooler amongst my peers. And secondly, I get to learn and experience from two distinct cultures. For example, I get to dance my heart out at Dandiya, a fun traditional Hindu celebration, and participate in La Purísima, a festival that celebrates the Virgin Mary, where the Nicaraguan community can come together to sing songs, to eat gallo pinto, and to drink cacao. And this life seems great and all. Don't get me wrong, it is. But sometimes it isn't like that. You see, people on the outside primarily see the positive things, but what they neglect to see is the negative impact that being from two extremely opposite cultures has on me. You want to know what my worst enemy is? My absolute worst enemy is those check boxes. You know what I'm talking about. The check boxes on the SAT or ACT or any job application that asks you to state your ethnicity or race. See, for me, that's so confusing. And I don't know which one to select because it only lets you select one. Or even when there is a multiracial category, right next to it, in parentheses, it says non-Hispanic. I don't know where to belong. And these check boxes are a constant reminder to me that the social construct of race isn't so simple after all. You see, I don't know where it is that I belong in the spectrum of races. Whether it's Nicaraguan on my mother's side or Indian on my dad's side. And although I speak both Hindi and Spanish, albeit with an accent, I feel like an outsider in both worlds, even around my own family. Because when the most concrete aspect of your identity is not having one, you tend to feel lost. You see, most of my relatives on my Indian side of the family reside in India, so I don't get to see them as often as most people get to see their family. I don't have the same bond with my grandparents that my other cousins do. They see each other for every celebration. They have their own memories, their own inside jokes. And it pains me to know how much I've been missing out on these past 18 years of my life. But even when I do go to visit India, I can still hear the whispers of my neighbors in Hindi. Ye yahan kya kari hai? Ye to Angrez hai. What is she doing here? She's American. Unaware that I was able to understand every single word, every single one of their piercing words. And it was the same deal in Nicaragua. For them, I didn't look right. My features were too Indian, my accent too American. And even in my home in the US, everyone around me thought I was fully Indian. My classmates couldn't tell the least bit that I was Hispanic. But you want to know what gets me the most? What really, really bugs me is when people ask me, "So, what are you?" And I respond politely and proudly, "I'm American, just like you." No, what are you really? You see, 8 out of the 10 people that I meet that are new ask me what I am based on the color of my skin, my features, my hair. I am Hispanic Indian. And growing up, I didn't know that that was a category. Honestly, I'm not so sure that it still is. Because you're either visibly Hispanic or Indian, one or the other. But because I look this way, I'm too Hispanic to identify as Indian. But at the same time, I'm too Indian to identify as Hispanic. And even my parents' friends would say things jokingly like, "Oh, Carla, are you sure she's your daughter? She looks nothing like you." Not being able to identify with my own culture, let alone my own family, not being fully accepted or wanted anywhere, left me confused, lost. And the relentless battle for assimilation has left so many bruises that provoke impetuous thoughts that I'm not able to cherish my own identity. But I have grown to realize that I'm not defined by the small checkboxes on the SAT, the small checkboxes that represent the societal bounds of who I am. And I refuse to deny any aspect of my lineage to fit into someone's racial identity box. You see, people are always trying to tell me who I am or who I am not. They try to tell me, "Natasha, you don't understand Hindi well enough." Or, "Natasha, you don't understand Spanish well enough." Or, "Natasha, you don't understand our culture." But now we can cut to me acting as a translator for my sister every time we go to India, because I understand every single word being spoken. We can cut to me being so comfortable with Spanish that I traveled to Nicaragua for an entire month to teach preschoolers English. We can cut to me being so understanding of my culture, so appreciative of my culture, that I have been on the executive board of multiple South Asian cultural organizations on campus, and that I have danced Bollywood for the past 13 plus years. So you see, to me, being multiracial is a blessing. It's the love of two people from different identities and different backgrounds that collide to add an understanding, tolerance, and beauty to a chaotic world. And so many people are in my position. So many people are at the intersection of different perspectives and different identities. And like me, so many feel lost. So many feel like they don't have a place to belong. But what we need to do is we need to open up the conversation, learn from one another, and help each other find our place in the world. Thank you.